Facebook people, hi. Come on in, have a seat next to each other. Today, over in the other box, we have the Chris Ketler out of the East Coast. Yes, he's on Comic Spot. That's where this Army veteran gets to vet out veterans of comedy. And he's a veteran of comedy. Wait until you hear his intro that he sent, that he had me look up. It's so long, you guys. Look at this. It goes, must be a booty call. Okay, I'm gonna read a little bit of your intro because there's so much in here. It's hard to pick out the best part. This is embarrassing for comics. Chris Ketler, also known as the Bitter Dude, sounds like a persona, has been bitter since the day he was born. He hails from Northeast Ohio. Skipping forward a little, I want to tell you that he has performed in the following states: Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Kentucky, New York, Florida, Indiana, Illinois. He's performed at the Laugh Factory, Zanies, Riddles, Funny Farm, Improv, the Broadway Comedy Club, Greenwich Village Comedy Club, the Comedy Bar, and many other notable clubs. He's so shy I can't even look at the camera right now. He's been in movies. He's got credits in The Avengers, Billy Ray Bauer, starring Bruce Willis, and much more. The Enormity of Life and Mafia Ties, Amazon Prime 2019. This guy is a veteran of comedy. Must I say more? Welcome him to the stage. This is so awesome to have you. Thank you for carving out a few moments to be with me, you rock star, you bitter rock star, you. What's going on
I don't know
East
about
Coast?
And so I started bitter, and there goes my camera.
I blame it on gravity.
It sucks, doesn't it? Yeah. But yeah, you know, my friends always say, what do you have to be bitter about, Chris? I started out bitter, and the bitterness has opened a lot of doors for me. Very blessed and stuff, but I wasn't always this way. I used to be a corporate American guy with a suit and a tie, clean shaven, you know, and, went to work every day, and now I don't do any of that. You know, I 7 years ago, a little over, well, it's probably been longer than that now. My then wife decided just to split. And I had a chance really to reinvent myself, figure out what I wanted to do in life at this point. And I chose to do comedy. And I started doing stand-up comedy. And I think like most people, when I first started doing stand-up, I sucked.
Yes, so, I did.
Yeah, it is. Well, there are those people, God bless them, who are blessed to be that way. And, you know, they can be funny 24/7 and all of that. And I've had a lot of discussion with friends about that, you know, because there's two types of comedians. There's comedians who turn it on when the time is appropriate, when it's time to go to work. And there's comedians who are a comedian 24/7, you know?
Yes.
And then there's a lot of in-betweens, of course, because everything has stuff in between. So. Yes. But yeah, comedy's been great. I've been around quite a bit of places, and I've worked with some incredible people in major motion pictures. I worked with Bruce Willis in a movie called Acts of Violence that was exclusive to Amazon Prime. I worked with Matthew McConaughey on White Boy Rick, and that was incredible. Did a couple of scenes with them, 3 scenes. At one point, I was literally like 4 feet away from Matthew McConaughey. We actually make eye contact and everything, but it's an unusual circumstance working with an Academy Award-winning actor. There's a lot of things you can't do. You know, they literally have you sign a stack of papers of things you can and cannot do, and stuff like you cannot make eye contact.
I wouldn't do well.
It's tough. You know, you want to take your phone out and take a picture and stuff, or you ask for a picture with, and there's times you just can't do that, you know? So, no. Yeah. And
what's your favorite? What's the favorite thing you've accomplished?
Well, I think that's where we are right now. I think what we're working on, the project we're working. 4 years ago, I started my own production company with a group of people, and we were pre-COVID was the largest independent producer in Northeast Ohio. We did over 30 shows a month in cities across the area, major cities like Youngstown, Cleveland, Akron, Columbus, stuff like that.
Comedy and
And
music?
right now we are, huh?
Comedy
No,
and
just
music?
comedy. Well, I think we did 2 music shows to help out a friend. We produced 2 shows were music, but that was just it was a give thing. You give some love in life. I think that's an important thing to do. But no, it's just all comedy. I think at this point we've produced in the last 4 years over 400 shows with comedians we've brought to the area around the world, like New Zealand, Europe, Canada, and of course from coast to coast in the United States and stuff. So it's pretty cool. And now, what's talking about what am we most proud of, the best thing right now, we're working on developing into a comedy club, and we're working with the city of Akron and the SBA, and really looking to take that next step from a production company into a brick and mortar. And people are thinking, wow, you're crazy to do that right now during COVID. But this is when opportunists will take it, will move. There's a lot of, if you can make the move now, I think it's a good time to make a move. But there's a lot of guesswork involved, so that's what we're working on is a comedy club. It's more than a club. It's going to be a destination place. It's going to be designed to, flourish the arts. We want to be able to provide things so that the comedic culture in Akron can grow and flourish and develop to its most. So.
Wow. You know what I thought would be a good idea for a comedy club? I got 2
What's that?
ideas for you. Number 1, I think outside the club there needs to be a board with a speaker where people walking by can listen to different comics. Push a button. This guy's coming next weekend. Let me hear a bit.
That's interesting.
Thank you. Interactive and young people. Well, anyway, and then my other idea is you open a comedy club, and every weekend you get 2 or 4 different comics coming through, and you gather up so many people historically that have been there. When they're there, they're selling their merchandise. Well, whatever doesn't sell, let the club have it, sell it after. People are going to come, oh man, I missed.
That is a brilliant concept. A comedy merchandise consignment booth inside your club. I'm going to steal that idea actually and incorporate it. But you know what? I will make sure that credit is given, to you. Maybe we'll name the merch center after you or something, because I fully believe in giving credit where credit is due. And I think that's a brilliant idea.
Thank you.
I've never heard that.
It's like a missed, like everywhere I go, I see missed opportunities. Like you go to a restaurant, you don't bring a mask, you can't come in. Hello, sell some masks.
Right.
It's just that's the way my brain thinks. This is opportunity to sell masks.
And see, I'm that way when the COVID came, an opportunist again. I think that's what that says. You see an opportunity. For me, when the COVID thing was starting, and I mean back before 2020, when we were still in 2019, I have a brother that lives in Europe, and I kind of saw what was coming. So in January, I bought 100,000 microphone covers. I should have brought one in here with me out of my case, but they look like a little Kevin Hart shower cap.
Oh, funny.
You put it over the head of the microphone, and it's disposable. So when you go to the stage, you put your cap on, you do your bit. When you're done with the stage, you take the cap off. The cool thing is the comedians here, they're putting them in Ziploc bags and they're reusing these. But I bought 100,000 of these back in January because I saw it coming, and now you can't touch them, and if you can, it takes like 4 months to get them. And stuff. So we're on top of it, and I think that's an opportunist idea. But I love your idea about the merchandise booth. I think that's
yours.
brilliant. Thank you very much.
Yes, I wish
Well,
you
like
the
I said,
very
we'll make you credit. It's up here. We're going to give credit.
I wish you the very best with your new club. I'd like to go back in your life and know
Let's do
when.
it.
Okay, so like when were you first seen or heard as funny?
Well, I think different degrees of funny. Being funny with your friends and your family is definitely not comedic funny. So, I think everybody is funny in your intimate circles. So I don't know. Probably from my earliest times, I was probably funny. When did the ironic part was I started to do comedy as a way to vent from my divorce. I had a bad divorce and I needed some place to say nasty things, and I chose comedy. Bad choice. But, when I went up the first time, I did a bringer show because that's what you do in the Midwest. You do a bringer show. And I went to one of my best friends and I said, hey, I need you to come out and help me out. I'm going to do this comedy thing. And my friend looks at me and says, Chris, that's cool, but there's a problem. You're not funny. And it's true. So I remember being told I wasn't funny. And I think when we're critical of ourselves, we remember more of this is the hits, kind of like what we were talking about before. I certainly can remember my bombs. I felt what, it's kind of that high chase. Like, yeah, that was a good one. I need another that again. And so I don't track those as hard. I think as my fails.
Yes. Well, thank you. That was a nice long answer. So you're good at that. Way to go. I hate it when somebody says yes or no. No, I don't. That's a dumb question. That bothers me. But so you started doing comedy, and how do you go from I'm a bitter guy that didn't go into rock and roll, and now I'm divorced. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go around the country and work with big name people at big clubs. How did you make that transition to making it in comedy?
I think it's just you got to get yourself out there and you got to knock on the doors and you got to pick up the phone. Um, I have I have two good stories about that. One reflects the good, one that reflects the bad of that situation. But it's really just getting out there and beating the pavement, and you make the opportunities. I got to open for a pretty notable comedian in New York City, and the way I got the gig was literally pick the phone and call the club and say, hey, I'm coming to town on this day. These days, I'm looking for a spot. Would you have anything? Unbeknownst to me, the person on the phone was said famous comedian that I'm not going to mention, okay? But they gave a false name. They gave a fictitious name. And they're like, yada, yada, yada. We talked. And so they gave me their personal number and made sure that when I got to the show that night to call them, well, I misplaced a number. But when I showed up to the show that night, it was the person it wasn't the comedy club, it was the comedian. And I was like, wow. And they put me up and everything like that. And it was great. And we spent time and they commented, and when the big comedians come up to you and say, hey, nice job, you're funny, that's a wow,
That is a
and stuff. so
wow.
so don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call the clubs. You don't know who's going to answer the phone. It's a lot harder for people to dismiss you verbally than it is over a text or an email. So if you can work with somebody verbally, that's how you. So, but the fail for me was once I had called a comedy club and I had left a message, I had some dialogue going, and the comedy club called me back and had left a message. I missed the call, but I didn't recognize the number because I had been drinking or whatever. And I called the number back without first listening to the message, which you never want to do, let me tell you. And I made some off comment remark being loose because I was drinking and such and lost the gig. So
Funny. That's great. That takes away my next question was going to be what's a downside of having been in the business. That's definitely something that'll go down is on the downside of things, right? But you learn.
Yeah, I made myself. And I think that's it. Like, if you look what you're doing and stuff, like, I love what I do. I'm the master of my own life. I'm very
Yes.
blessed. Uh, so, you know, anything that's not good is usually my own doing.
Isn't
And
that the
stuff is what I
truth?
have found.
What
Yeah.
what are you trying to accomplish in the rest of your life so that you'll know that you accomplished what you wanted to?
You know, that change, And, right, my goals and focus is really on a low level with production, but and with the concept of comedy club, and just leaving a little etching, a little mark, a little score on the community scene. We just want to bring things going to not up a notch, you know, opportunities in our community, and I think that's, I mean, my name's never going to be in lights. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to have my name on a key, but I'm not going to be a person who will sit out of a room. I know that. I would love that person, but realistically, I'm not going to be a person who sells out a room. But I could produce a sellout room, and I have produced sellout rooms, and I think by doing that and other things in Akron that would raise the culture of the comedic community, we can make a little impact, just a little bit.
What about all these shows that you have? What's when the world opens back up, you put on multiple shows. Didn't you say hundreds of shows, like 400 shows?
In 4 years, we 400 shows. We started out doing one show a month and stuff, but now we do multiple shows. Now we're already back up and producing on a small scale. We're producing 15 shows a month. I have 5 shows tomorrow night this week. I have a show this evening. I have one Friday night. I have 2 in 2 different venues on Saturday. And then Sunday morning, I have my podcast. And then Sunday night, I have another show. So, yeah, 6 events with the podcast in 4 days. I'm
What's
blessed.
the name? I know. What's the name of your podcast, please?
Hey, this is very sweet of you to give us the opportunity to put that out there. The name of the podcast is The Epic Radio Show. And I will tell you, we are literally on every streaming platform known to man and God. It's surprising. I put this on our Fire Stick here at my house even. But we do a pretty good amount of...
What's the
premise?
Yeah.
It's just like a radio from me. It's just good. I call it 2 out of station. It's nothing that's going to change the world. It's definitely not a TED Talk. We do things like crazy news, would you rather, and we talk about what is in the news, kind of top stuff. Sometimes it's deep cuts of stuff, but it's very interesting. And then one of the highlights is we have a guest interview every week. And we've been very blessed to have some great guests. Next week, we have Mitch Malloy, who is the lead singer for Great White. And the story there is he turned down the lead singer spot for Van Halen when Sammy Hagar left. And this story is just breaking, and we got it first.
Wow.
We get a lot of comedians, a lot of actors, rock stars. Ray Luz, the drummer of Korn, Mark Slaughter from Slaughter. A bunch of comedic people, which you would know as well. So it's fun. The radio show is live Sunday mornings at 10:30, but you can stream it anytime, anywhere.
And the name of it again is?
The Epic Radio Show.
Wonderful.
Epic.
And your shows that you produce all over are called, what company is that under?
Again, you are so good. Look to you guys. You're very nice. My comedy production group is known as Fun Noises Productions,
What was
And
that
noises
again?
is spelled. It's
Yeah.
called Funny Noises Production. Of course, noises have to be funny, so we have a Z in the middle where the S would be. So Noises. All right. And you can watch for our club in 2021 coming up, and it was called Rubber City Comedy Club. City Comedy Club.
Rubber what?
Rubber City.
Rubber Seat Comedy Club.
Nope, Rubber City, like the city Akron.
Got it.
Rubber City. Rubber and Paul, or this is where ties were made, things like that. So.
Will you do me a favor when we get done and type those 3 things to me so I can cut and paste them onto the post?
You bet I will.
Because otherwise it's going to come out looking like Rubber Ducks Don't Like Ohio podcast on Fridays at 2:00 in Akron. It's going to look really weird.
We'll get them. We'll get them.
Thank you so very much for coming on. You are now officially, that's my bell, you're officially a graduate.
Ta-da.
You are at the same level as Sinbad.
I have seen Sinbad and met him. He's a very good guy, very funny guy, great guy. Love it. Thank you very much.
Hold up. But wait, there's more. Now that you're a graduate of Comic Spot, you get to come back on once a month and plug something for 5 to 7 minutes. So hit me up for those. I'm
going to put it on my calendar right now.
Yes. Woo, Chris Ketler, thank you so much for taking time.
Linda.
Bye. Love you lots.
We'll talk.
I can love you if I want.
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Today.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Every